because this doesn't show it at all.
Extensor tendon.
So there's the dorsal hood. There's actually a whole hooded sheath that covers the back of the finger. The extensor tendon goes into it. Your lumbricals, your palmar and dorsal interossei kind of blend in with it as well. Certain your lumbricals. So that when you extend your finger, there isn't just one point of attachment. There's a whole tendon sheath that stays in place. So if you avulse an extensor tendon, it doesn't retract like the FDP. It's still held in place by the rest of that hood. So we don't have to stress so bad about this being something that has to be rushed to an ER or rushed to a hand surgeon. And when I mean rushed, I mean within a day or two. But this one, hand comes out, ball tips the end finger when you're trying to extend it. It avulses extensor digitorum. What condition is that?
Swan. Swan finger?
So we've gotten rid of jersey finger. So we're down to boutonniere, swan, mallet, and trigger.
Mallet.
So you got a 25% shot, right? It's mallet finger. So that's the avulsion of extensor digitorum to where you can have them go like this and they're fine. If you hold them here, they'll sit like this. You can straighten it, but they can't hold it there. Boop, and then fall back down. Boop, and it falls back down. It's kind of funny. And then you can like flick it like that and it kind of hangs there.
Have you ever seen people when they go like this and they're just like, ha ha? Like, I'm just like, why?
So,
Here we'll see.
management for that is splinting it, just holding it in place.
Yes.
So there's a dorsal hood, there's a hood, a ligamentous attachment, a ligamentous sheath sitting over the top, and that's kind of what creates the back side of the finger attachment.
If you can,
All right?
if you can
So
splint it, it'll heal itself.
as long as you hold it in that place, it'll heal itself and be just fine. Now, if the fool high school kid doesn't want to keep his splint on, then he'll have a deformed finger, and over time they'll have to go back and fix that themselves if they want to get it done. Other unique features of the hand. Sitting on the bottom side, if you take your finger and go like this, there's something called a volar plate. So it's a thickened ligamentous tissue right in here that prevents you from hyperextending your finger. That volar plate, you rupture it, you stretch it out, you mess with it, and that's going to give you swan neck. Because if you can hyperextend that proximal interphalangeal joint, it's going to go down, and you're going to get a bend, something along those lines. And you've got to repair the volar plate. Boutonniere deformity, going back to the dorsal hood, there's a central slip. If you have what they say is a tear or rupture in the central slip, then the joint slips through that dorsal hood. Boutonniere, think of it like a button deformity, to where the tear is the buttonhole and your bone is the button. And it slips up and through it, so it deforms this way.
Nice.
And this doesn't happen overnight. It will require surgery, but it may take up to 3 weeks after the tear occurs for that to kind of show up and be problematic. And then trigger finger is kind of a stricture to where you're getting a clicking sound in the tendon on that index finger to where you can actually, it's almost like crepitus, but there's a clicking where the tendon's getting caught up and slipping, not slipping through easily through all of those little tethers that are holding the FDP in place. What else? Elbow, ulnar collateral ligament. 3 bands. Which one is palpable? Anterior. So the anterior, posterior, and transverse. Anterior is palpable. Lateral side of radial collateral ligament, as well as annular ligament. Annular ligament holds the head of the radius in place and tethers it in. Nursemaid's elbow, to where you take a young child and you're like just swinging them between you and mommy, and you can dislocate that radial head from the annular ligament. It's painful. You kind of pull the hand up and then pronate it. It should slide back in without too much difficulty. And you look a whole lot not quite as bad to Child Protective Services when they don't see that you've dislocated your children's ligaments. Clear as mud.
As usual.
As usual. Great, that's promising. So
No
again,
more
I'm
confused than normal.
like a comedy routine. I'm here all week. I'm probably going to grab lunch, so leave me alone for at least 20 minutes. But aside from that, I'll be in my office.
Wait a minute. That's it. That's
Don't
all
get
you're
no damn
asking?
lunch,
Dude,
dude.
you guys are relentless at times. The hate mail I get if I'm not
The
there.
hate mail.
Office.
People start threatening to boil my bunny and